Blank. Oh. Shabbat Shalom. Please join us. Hine Mato, page 1.
Hine matov manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and welcome. It's so good for us to be together. As we just sang, how good and how pleasant it is for us to be together as brothers and sisters as we welcome Shabbat together. And this Shabbat is a special Shabbat, one of those Shabbatot during the year that has a special name and a special theme. It's Shabbat Shirah, or the Sabbath of song, because in our Torah portion this week, Bishalach, we chant Shirat Hayam, the song of the city, the Song of the Sea, that song that our ancestors sang at their moment of redemption, when they realized they were free from their bondage in Egypt after crossing safely through the sea. And it's a beautiful song, and synagogues all around our country and perhaps all around the world devote this special Shabbat because of the Torah portion to music, to singing lots of beautiful music along with the liturgy. The song that we began with, that version of Hine Matov this evening, I imagine is familiar to many of you. I think it might have been one of the very first Hebrew songs that I learned as a kid going to temple with my family in Southern California. And I know I sang it at camp through the years. We sing it here at Temple Israel. It's a beautiful, simple melody. And the meaning really fits who we are and who we want to be, a Kehillah Kedoshah, a holy community that dwells together, that supports one another. And so we thought, because we know a lot of different melodies with those words for Hine Matov, because this is Shabbat Shirah, that we would sing several versions of Hine Matov, several different melodies throughout the service. And not only will we be singing them live here, but we have several recordings that we're going to insert into the service as well with members of our congregation, both students in our school and adults, singing and dancing to different melodies of Hine Matov. It should be a really fun and lively and beautiful service tonight. And so let's continue with another version of Hine Matov.
We're still on page 1.
We hope you'll sing with us. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. 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 Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. 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 Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hallelujah, hallelujah. We continue with the lighting of our candles for Shabbat, and we're so happy to honor this evening on Shabbat Shirah Marilyn Shore with the lighting of our candles in honor of all that she and her husband Dennis have given to our congregation with the talent that they both have. They both are charter members of Kolot all the way back from the beginning, our adult choir. They are part of the octet during the high holidays, and I think they've been in every Purim spiel since the very beginning. So we're so happy to invite Marilyn to light the candles in honor of all they've done for us. Marilyn?
Shabbat Shalom. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehad lekner shel Shabbat. Good Shabbos, everyone.
Hine matov umanayim shevet agam yachad. Hine matov umanayim Gam yachad. You are so silly.
Those are good dances.
Umanayim. Shevet achim. Gam yachad. Ready? Gam
Shevet achim, shevet achim, gam
Thank you, Marilyn, for the candle blessing. And in that video, you got to see some of the fun we have in our learning lab, our religious school on Sunday mornings, singing and having a great time. A story. There was an old man walking by the seashore where he saw starfish that had been washed up on the beach. And there were thousands and thousands of them. And a small boy who was walking by saw the old man reach down and pick up a starfish and throw it back in the ocean, and reach down and do it again, and throw it back in the ocean. In amazement, the boy approached the old man and he said, "Excuse me, sir, but there are thousands and thousands of starfish on this beach. Do you think you really make much of a difference? You'll never be able to throw them all back in the water." Upon which the old man reached down and picked up another starfish, threw it back into the water, and reached down and picked up another one and threw it back into the water. And he said to the young boy, "Makes a difference for those starfish." And he went on to say one more thing. Imagine the difference we could all make if instead of criticizing, we would all work together. And together, the old man and the young boy continued returning the starfish to the sea. Isn't this the definition of what it means to be a kehillah, a community that works together, that prays together, that supports one another in time of need, that tries its best to make a difference in the world, every person doing their part? We certainly can make a difference. And now our service continues with Baruch Hu on page 2. Those who are comfortable and able, we invite you to please rise. Hear, O Israel, Adonai our God, Adonai is one. Hear, O Israel, Adonai our God, Adonai is one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Israel, Adonai our God, Adonai is one. Please may be seated.
אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, יאללה לי 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 לי, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, יאללה לי לי יאללה לי לי לי, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, יאללה לי 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 לי, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, יאללה לי 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 לי, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים.
When our ancestors crossed safely along the bottom of the Red Sea to the other side and realized, at last we are free, or we are free at last, they sung our song of redemption, the Micha Mocha. Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, Mika Mocha nedar ba'kodesh. Who is like unto you, Almighty God, doing such wondrous miracles? But notice when we say Micha Mocha and then Mika Mocha, there's a slight difference in pronunciation. And it's not a scribal error, and it's not a piece of schmutz on the Torah scroll that accounts for the difference. The rabbis tried to explain it with the following midrash, the following story. They said when the children of Israel finally were freed from Pharaoh of Egypt, it wasn't long before the Pharaoh changed his mind and he sent his soldiers and his chariots to bring them back. And they were trapped. The sea in front of them, the Pharaoh's chariots and his soldiers fast approaching, and they were frozen with fear, standing at the shores of the sea. And Moses was praying. He didn't know what to do. No one was moving until one man named Nachshon ben Aminadav, looked to the left, looked to the right, realized no one was moving, and said, well, it's now or never. And he took a step forward into the sea. The water was up to his ankles, and another step to his knees, and another step his waist, and another step his neck, and another step, and suddenly the water came into his mouth. That it was that moment that he said, Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, and the water in the second, Mika Mocha, was him spitting the water that accounted for the difference. And it was at that moment, say the rabbis, that the sea split. It was on account of the faith and the bravery, the courage of Nachshon, his faith that God would not have brought them here to die at the shores of the sea. It's for that reason that the sea finally split.
Or spit.
I'm spitting and splitting tonight. And the lesson, of course, is that it's not enough to just pray for redemption. It's not enough to just pray that the world will be made a better place, that the world will be redeemed. Sometimes we have to take the first step. We need to be active participants in the redemption of the world. And there's a slightly different ending to the story of Nachshon. And in this ending, it wasn't Nachshon alone who stepped into the sea, but all 600,000 of our ancestors found that same faith and that same courage. There were 600,000 sea partings at the moment of our redemption. And that lesson, of course, has to do with the theme of this evening, Hinei Matov, and the importance of being a community. When we want changes to happen, we all have to work together. And now let's sing together our song of redemption on page 3.
We need to get our Miriam's journaling out.
Here we go. And the women dancing with their timbrel followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one who we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long.
When Miriam stood upon the shores and gazed across the sea, the wonder of this miracle she soon came to believe.
Whoever thought the sea would part with an outstretched hand
and we would pass to freedom
and march to the promised land. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as we sang her song. Sing a song to the one who we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha And now this.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומה נעים אוי 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 שבת אחים גם יחד שבת אחים גם יחד שבת אחים גם יחד שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומה נעים אוי 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 שבת אחים גם יחד שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומה נעים אוי 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 שבת אחים גם יחד שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת אחים גם יחד
Hine mata v'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters to dwell together. We are singing this refrain over and over and over this evening, and indeed it is good when people get along and feel a sense of connectedness. It's good to create and to be a part of a community of meaning and a community of caring. Kihila Kedoshah, as we always like to call our temple Israel. But the work we do and the positive energy we create as Kihila Kedoshah must also extend beyond our own community. It must reach out into the world and be a force for good, helping to shape a world that is more just and more kind and more fair for all of God's children. As Jews, we are commanded to speak up when something is wrong, to make good trouble, as the late Congressman and activist John Lewis used to say. The song our ancestors sang at the moment of our redemption, which we will chant from the Torah tonight, only has meaning in that context. For our redemption is not just about freedom from oppression, as good and as important as that is. It's about freedom for a purpose, which is to be agents of redemption for those who are not yet free, to be God's foot soldiers, so to speak, here on earth. So sometimes we have to make a little good noise. Sometimes we have to speak up and rock the boat to make that good trouble that John Lewis was talking about, to walk in the footsteps of Reverend Martin Luther King, whose life and work we remember and also celebrate this week, to speak uncomfortable truths that sometimes need to be heard. As Frederick Douglass, the great abolitionist, once declared, those who profess to favor freedom and yet depreciate agitation are people who want crops without plowing the ground. They want rain without thunder and lightning. They want the ocean without the roar of its many waters. The struggle may be a moral one, or it may be a physical one, or maybe both. But it must be a struggle. Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did, and it never will. Let us rise, those of us who can, as we join together in chanting the Amidah. on page 4. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agita hilatecha. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agita hilatecha. Oh God, open up my lips as I begin to pray. Oh God, open up my lips as I begin to pray. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agita hilatecha. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agita hilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imateinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Leah Elohei Rachel Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imachot Umevi Geula V'Ibnei B'neihem Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava Melech Choser u'Moshiach u'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai Mechayei hakol Atah Rav le'Hoshia Mechachel Chaim bechesed Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim Somech noflim berofech cholim Umatir asurim Mekayem emunato lishanei afar Michamocha b'gevurot Umido melach Melech meimit u'mechayei u'matzmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman natan l'chayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayei hakol Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kadoshim b'chol yom Yehallelucha selah Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
Please be seated.
We continue praying in silence.
bottom of page 5. Another Hine Mato. Join us.
Hine Matavu Manayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matavu Manayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. How beautiful it is to be here, feeling like we belong. Arm in arm, just like sisters and brothers, joined together in song. Hine Matavu Manayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matavu Manayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad.
How beautiful it is to be here, feeling like we belong.
Like we belong.
Arm in arm, just like sisters and brothers, joined together in song.
Hine Matavu Manayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matavu Manayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Our service continues now with Seder Kriyat HaTorah, the special service for the reading of Torah. We invite all who are able to please rise as we invite Karma and Ari onto the bima to help take out the Torah. It's on one hand practical, we need an extra set of hands, but also this happens to be the 19th anniversary of Ari's bar mitzvah. He chanted this Torah portion almost 20 years ago, and so we're honoring him for that as well.
And we're on page 6.
Ki mitzion tetzei Torah. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah. Udavar Adonai Yerushalayim. Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah. Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah. Le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Beit Yaakov lechuvanelcha ba'or Adonai, O house of Jacob, come, let us walk in the light of our God. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Hine Matov U'Manayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. 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 Well, if you would look into a Torah scroll, and if you were trying to find Shirat Hayam, the special song of the sea, which is a part of Bishalach, our Torah portion for this evening, you could see it from across the room because it's laid out in a very different and beautiful format that's very easy to spot. And I've asked Karma to explain some of the traditions around why it's written so beautifully and in such a special fashion.
Thank you, Rabbi. So Bishalach, this week's Torah portion, and the Song of the Sea is most definitely one of the coolest parts of the Torah. Of course, the whole Torah is cool, but this portion is particularly cool because it is so unique. It's, first of all, really unique musically. The entire Torah we chant using the same trope. It's the trope that we use when we chant the Ve'ahavta. You know, da 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 da. But when we get to the Song of the Sea, the melody is completely different. It's incredibly unique, and the only time we hear it is on this Shabbat. We get a teeny tiny little taste of it, a flavor of that melody, actually on Yom Kippur. You know, tonight we're celebrating our redemption from slavery, and on Yom Kippur we are praying together as a community for communal redemption. And when we do the communal confessional, you know, where we beat our chests, Hashem knew, oh God knew, we get a little taste of the Michamocha, of the Song of the Sea, so when we chant that particular prayer. The melody sounds like this, da-da-da-da-da-da. And if you think about what happens in between the Ashamnu, we have I-da-da-da-da-da. It's basically the same melody as we'll hear tonight when we chant the Song of the Sea. The other part, as Rabbi said, that is really cool and unique about the Song of the Sea is it looks incredibly different. Ari has graciously found a slide for us so that you guys all get to get a really nice up-close look of what the Song of the Sea looks like. Normally in Torah, we just have, you know, straight columns of words upon words upon words. You can never find your spot. But we see here the Song of the Sea is laid out in a very unique fashion. It's 3 columns, and each in the middle column in each line is lowered just a tad. And there are a couple of different explanations for why the Song of the Sea is written this way. One is that it represents the bricks that we had to make while we were slaves in Egypt, so layered one upon the other. The other interpretation, which I love so much, is that the outer columns, the 2 outer columns, are the walls of water of the Red Sea, and the middle column is us, the children of Israel, passing through to freedom. And so I think we are ready to chant the Torah, so we are going to have a communal aliyah this evening, and I'm going to invite Rabbi and Lindy, and of course Ari is in the room, and my daughter Hallie, also celebrating the anniversary of her bat mitzvah on this Shabbat, is in the room with us tonight, and we invite you to join us in a communal aliyah. And then we're actually going to go to a video of me chanting the Song of the Sea. And we decided, I felt very strongly that I wanted to have Torah Cam tonight because I love so much how this Torah portion looks. I really wanted to be able to share it with you. So there'll be just a little bit of a delay after the Aliyah as the video loads for the Song of the Sea. Please join us on page 7. Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach, Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, ve'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten ha'torah. Uvenei Yisrael, Vayabasha betoch hayam, vehamayim lahem choma, miminam umismolam. Vayos Adonai bayom hahu et Yisrael miyad Mitzrayim. Vayar Yisrael et Mitzrayim met al sfat hayam. Vayar Yisrael et hayad hagdola asher asa Adonai b'Mitzrayim. Vayiru ha'am et Adonai, vayaminu b'Adonai, uv'Moshe avtoho. Ahaz yashir Moshe uvenei Yisrael et hashira hazot l'Adonai, vayomru lemor. Ashir al Adonai ki ga'o ga'a, sus v'rochvo rama vayam, ozi v'zimrat ya, vayili shua, ze'eli ve'anvehu, Elohei avi ve'aromimenhu, michamocha ba'elim, Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, norat tehilot, oseh v'ele, Adonai yimloch, leolam va'ed, ki sus paro berich bo ufarashav bayam vayashev Adonai alehem et mei hayam uvenei Yisrael Alchu bayabasha betoch hayam.
Baruch
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah temet v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Yasher koach.
We'd like to say special prayer for healing in the presence of our Sefer Torah. And this evening we pray, well, before I read the names, we invite you to send in the chat and the live stream the names of friends and family whom you'd like to add to the Misha Berach, and we'll read them at the end of our list. We are praying this week especially for Casey Campbell-Shadman, Gail Weiss, Diane Dakin, Randy Watkins, Gabby Lopez-Smith, Rebecca Williams, Victor Altman, Susie Kritzer, Rose Machado, Larry Goldman, John Kaplan, the Lowy family, Ellen Clore, Jonathan Kelly, Thomas Boggs, Louise Riddle-Kaufman, Rick West, Tom Baker, Nan Jacobs, Arlene and Philip Lipkin, Jennifer Carter, Ellie Lindner and Zach Citrone, Pat Lindenberg, and Dick Solomon.
We add Christina Cross, Amber Carter, Sherry Labarthe, Celine Sankary, Barbara Fine, Diane Drilsma.
And let us join together in our Misha Berach prayer for healing. The words are on page 8.
Lehi
Carol and Steve Ware, Tammy Miller, Jay Berman, Elise Blinder, Becca Putman, Alex Ryan, James and Sloan Dixon, Dottie Grace, and Rusty Valerie.
And we add to those names mentioned aloud those of us here and those of us at home who are in need of these same blessings for refuat hanefesh and refuat haguf, for healing of mind and body and spirit. Baruch atah Adonai rofeh hacholim. Blessed are you, O God, who heals the sick.
Amen. We continue with the prayer for our country and the state of Israel.
Guardian of life and liberty, grant blessings to our country. Grant our leaders patience and wisdom. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and may we never be lazy in the work of peace. Eternal God, grant blessings to the state of Israel. Protect her people, shelter them with peace, and grant them deliverance from the violence that surrounds them. May they live in harmony with one another and with their neighbors. May the bonds of faith and faith that unite the Jews of all lands be a source of strength and blessing to each of us and to all the world.
And let us say, Amen. And invite Ari back up
to do the honor of Hagva, of lifting the Torah. Vezot HaTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael ahi Adonai beyad Moshe.
Ushema
we conclude each of our services by taking a quiet and reverent moment to remember and to pay tribute to our loved ones who are no longer with us physically, but whom we carry in our hearts and in our memories, and so they continue to bless and to carry us. This week we are sad to announce the passing of a long time member of Temple Israel, Helen Schneider, remembered with love by her son Mark Schneider and daughter-in-law Sharon Kaplan. In a week, Helen would have celebrated her 101st birthday. And with that longevity, she was, at the time of her death, the second oldest member of our congregation, believe it or not. Bill West still at 102? 103 has the record, and thank goodness he's very healthy and going strong. But we express our love and our condolences to the Schneider family. If there's anyone who has names that they would like to add, either because you are in the Shloshim, the 30-day period of mourning, or the Shana, the 1-year period of mourning, or if you think that we don't have your loved one's name for Yortzeit, we invite you to please, in the chat, send their names to us now so that we can announce them from the Bima. The following are the names of those who have a Yortzeit, the anniversary of their death sometime in the week ahead. We remember with love Perry Gold, William Grable, Barbara Samuels, Irving Edelstein, Alan Miller, Alvin Vilick, Tilly Katz, Ben Zion Solomon, Sally Skolnick, Phyllis Albala, Hendrina Goldsmith, Beatrice Casson, Samuel Sisman, Sylvia Ruskin, Ruth Ann Teague, Edna Estes, Libby Shukoff, Phyllis Bass, Samuel Rafelson, Toby Schissel, Faye Steelman, Ida Mae Davidson, Sydney Shaw, and Kim Skelton.
I'd like to add Betty Myers, Laura Lee Southern, Herm Lewin, Joey Robinow, Denise Stoller Craig, Philip Blair, Brock Blair, and that's
Zichronam Livracha, may the memory of all these precious loved ones be for a blessing and a never-ending source of strength. And we hold in our hearts the memories of all those who have died from COVID-19, as we remember as well the 6 million who died in the Holocaust, so many leaving no one to remember them, no one to say Kaddish for them. So we take them all into our hearts along with our own loved ones who have died, as we together on page 10 recite Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, b'yalma divra cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon u'b'yomechon, u'v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ulomei omaya, yitparak v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei dekudisha barichu, la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran v'yalma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who makes peace in the high places make peace here on earth between us all. And we say, Amen.
Please be seated. We have so many thank yous for this evening. Thank you to our TK class, our Learning Lab school, and our Israeli dance class for making wonderful video dances to Hine Matovs. We loved every one of them. Thank you to Karma for chanting beautifully this portion that's so special, and for the Torah Cam and all of this, putting everything together. Ari, thank you so much for making this happen. Excuse me. Thank you to Beth Sanders for our opening preludes, and Mazel Tov to Phil and Terry Oppenheimer, who became first-time grandparents this last
Mazel
week,
tov.
to a beautiful granddaughter, Ayer Diana Oppenheimer. So we're so happy that you're experiencing grandparenthood.
Much
And-
nachas to you.
Yes. Thank you so much for the Song of the Sea arrangement that was during the silent meditation. That was done by Beth Sanders, Don Nelson, Donna Smith, Jeff and Pat Lindenberg, Steve Schermerhorn, and Vicki Strauss. A beautiful collaboration, so thank you for that. And, oh, happy birthdays. Trevor Baker, today is Michael Yoshino's birthday, and happy birthday, 98th birthday, to Mel Corin. So, mazel tov to you
Happy
all.
birthday to Mel.
And
And Od Mea Vesrim until
That's
120 in good health. Amen.
Amen. The Learning Lab is closed this Sunday in honor of Martin Luther King Day. Classes resume on Wednesday. If you would like the honor of lighting the Shabbat candles or having an aliyah for an upcoming service, please let Karma know. Let's see. I want to be in the Purim spiel. I want to be in the Purim spiel. Okay,
Good one.
amazing. We're having a Purim spiel this year, but it's going to be very different, very different. So we're announcing the making of our Purim movie, Shushan Story, based on the Leonard Bernstein's amazing score from West Side Story. Because of COVID, no live performance this year, but we are going to film in small groups and segments to make a movie even Steven Spielberg would be proud of. No pressure. Please join us. No experience necessary, no live singing, minimal choreography, little time commitment, but an opportunity to be with the community, which is what Purim is all about in our congregation.
In a crazy COVID-safe Purim spiel on
So-
the big screen.
Get in touch with me or Karma as soon as possible if you want to join in the fun. And if you would like to order a Purim t-shirt, which is really fantastic, you should have gotten it, the information, in an email this morning, so make sure you check. That came about 6 o'clock this morning. We need to get those orders in by Monday. It's definitely needed for all the kids in the cast, but any adult that would like one or other kids that would like one, we need to get those orders in. Let's see, I think I got it, everything.
Well, we really struggled to decide on a concluding song for our service this evening.
Which Hine Matov should we do?
We decided to sing Hine Matov.
One of our new favorites, so the words are on page 11.
Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad.
How good it is,
How good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is to be together on this day.
how good it is,
How good it is,
how sweet it is.
how sweet it is to be together on this day. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Hinei matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei matov u'manayim Shalom Aleikum, Shalom Alechem, Shalom Aleikum. Hinei Batov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hinei Batov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Have a wonderful Shabbat and a great weekend, and please stay safe. Shabbat Shalom.
Enjoy one more little video. Shabbat Shalom.
God.